Right. So accessing and commercialising content. If most of you are from the creative industries, I'm probably not telling you stuff that you don't know already. But the creative industries, on the latest figures, it contributes 6.4% to GVA to the UK economy, which is as much as the construction industry and probably considerably more nowadays in the financial services. But with it,
what's GVA?
Well, it's the gross value added, yes. So it's the net, I suppose, or the gross profit that through your activities are contributed to the UK economy. Any economists in there want to argue with that?
But
Right.
It's slightly different. It's different from GDP.
Yes, it's different for GDP.
GVA does not exclude subsidies.
Right.
So if you have the GVA minus the subsidies, then that turns out to be the GDP.
Right. Thank you, that man. Did everyone get that? Right. So within that, the content industries, by which we count advertising, music, publishing, TV, radio, computer games, actually accounts for 3/4. So it is the main bulk of that sector. Now, technology is having a huge impact. I mean, again, I don't really need to tell you. It's well communicated. Particularly digitisation, increasing bandwidth, although it's opened up lots of opportunities for new services, new ways of doing businesses, new goods, new products. It's also, because of the immediacy and the pervasiveness of the internet, facilitated peer-to-peer file sharing on an unprecedented scale, undermining value from a lot of potentially value from a lot of content creators and copyright owners. Converged technologies. I mean, when I was a lad, if you wanted to make a call, you picked up a phone. If you wanted to watch telly, you switched on the telly. These days, you can sort of consume media, interact, talk to people on a single device, and you can take that with you, which is opening up again a whole range of different opportunities for new services. And not only that, the consumer doesn't want to sit there passively consuming what's doled out to them in terms of content. They want to be interacting, they want to be adding to it, they want to be creating their own and sharing it with people, all of which has led to this sort of explosion of content that's now available on the web. And actually, if you're a content producer or you're just out there trying to reach your customers, all that noise and trying to get through to the people that might be interested, or as consumers trying to actually find stuff that's likely to be of interest to you, is increasingly becoming a challenge. Against that, we've got the emerging economies investing in developing those skills in the higher order. I mean, the UK, we've been looking at some UNCTAD. Don't ask me what that stands for, but it's sort of like world sort of benchmarking on performance in the creative industries. And when it comes to the growth rate of what we'd call sort of our creative services, the UK sort of is way ahead of the global average. But actually, we're losing that gap. And it's not because we're doing anything worse, where our performance is falling. It's because other people are catching up. So it's a really sort of dynamic, there's lots of things happening, there's lots of challenges and there's lots of opportunities. But ultimately, if we're going to stay ahead and continue to have this vibrant content sector that we currently have, we have to make sure that those people at the sharp end who are providing the content, those sort of wonderful experiences, have actually got the reason for doing it, that they're getting adequate economic return on their investments. And that's ultimately what this call is all about. It's to provide technology-based solutions. We realise that technology is not the only solution. There's a whole load of other things that need to be considered to help digital content owners, copyright owners, realise and maximise the commercial returns from their IP. So in scope, I think you've probably had a copy, or certainly there should have been a copy of the call available to you. The scope is there to provide a means by which we're going to say when we come to assess it, yes, you're in scope or you're out of scope, but we try and make it as open as possible. We're looking at business models, processes, enhanced experiences. And when we say business models, I mean, what we're not looking for is the outcome of the great and good sitting in a smoky room coming up with a piece of paper saying, well, have you tried this, have you tried that? We're looking for, if it's new business models or processes, it's being used in anger, so demonstration of them being used in anger for a particular application. Applications that increase the effectiveness of revenue collection, either making it easier for consumers to know sort of how they can use content and get money back to the owners, or how the owners or content creators can collect those revenues. Solutions that broaden market access, so for small companies to give them that scale to address a larger market. Intelligent, intuitive access to context-relevant content, all sort of good things, and really then appealing to the consumer-generated, the market, the sort of tools that will help the prosumer join this new world of being able to contribute and add their own content. And because of the impact that technology is having in really sort of challenging the traditional architecture with the sector, those tools that might support the emergence of new value chains that we're seeing a lot of. So those are requirements. As I say, we're looking for something tangible out of that. So the outcome from your proposal should be a prototype, a demonstrator, something that can prove, the end of the chain can prove whether or not there's an opportunity for taking your product to market. Well, we want to make sure that it will go to market. The broader the market potential, the greater power to your elbow. But within your proposal, there's no harm in actually developing it around a very niche opportunity, providing you can see that there'll be opportunity once you've established it, developed it, for it to expand into a much wider market. The greater the market appeal, the wider your score. We do want it, that prototype, demonstrator, whatever it is, rooted in a specific content product exemplar. Now, because of this is a call that is targeted at creative industry sector, we recognise, because what we're asking for, you're going to have, or in strong likelihood, have technology providers in there, and that's not a problem. But if you don't have a content company in there, so it's not really rooted potentially in the challenges and the opportunities within that the creative content producers are facing. So there'll be a certain questions about your legitimacy as a collaborative team, that you understand the market and the opportunity. So that's one thing to be aware of for any technology companies that are in the audience. You need to be partnering with a content company. We are looking for innovative solutions, not me toos. It would be nice if we got to Google first, but we're not looking to for the UK to come up with the UK's version of Google. And you need to be very specific. Think of it as a business case. You need to identify what your particular market opportunity is, and to have a very clear view as to how you're actually going to exploit it. And you might want to consider those things with your choice of partners. And just in case it hasn't been clear all the way through, we're not looking for proposals that are looking at sharing knowledge or communicating best practice. We're wanting specific things that will find their way into market in the not too distant future. We have some partners. We've got just recently we've been working with the UK Film Council, where there's a strong overlap with some of their interest areas in looking at developing new digital tools, discoverability, and all those good things that you can read just as well as me.